This onion ring casserole is going to be delicious. In light of my recent success with my French fry casserole, I wanted to see if I could do something similar with onion rings. I did a bit of research on Google, and I don't think that anyone has done anything like this before, so I guess that we will learn together. Honestly, I'm envisioning a type of onion casserole with onion rings, sauteed onion, and other types of onion flavor that when everything comes together, it's a great combination of not only flavors, but also textures and colors. Let's get started. I started off with some frozen onion rings, 2 pounds. Where I shop, 1 bag of frozen onion rings is a pound. 1 bag of frozen French fries is usually 2 pounds. So make sure that you look to see how big the bag is. I just follow the directions. 14 minutes at 425 Fahrenheit. Just like with the French fries, if there's a range of temperatures on the package, make sure that you go toward the lower end of the range because we're going to bake these again. You don't want to overbake them. Just like you don't want to overcook noodles when you're making mac and cheese. I have some sauteed fresh onion here, 360 grams, about 3/4 of a pound of yellow onion, 360 grams of purple onion, and 133 grams of green onion. And that is measured peeled. Basically, if you go to the grocery store and you get onions, 2 pounds total, that's what you need. But if you want exact measurements of exactly what I used, that's it. All that I did is that I sauteed the yellow and the purple onion in 1 tablespoon of butter and 1 tablespoon of canola oil for 5 minutes, along with the white bottoms of the green onion. Then after 7 minutes. Then after 7 minutes, I added the green tops of the green onion. Then I sauteed for another 5 minutes. So 12 minutes total. I am adding 1 8-ounce block of Colby Jack cheese, but I think a lot of cheeses would work. I'm adding sour cream, 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons. In terms of grams, for me that's 240 plus 30, so 270 grams. I am using light this time because I'm trying to be a little bit healthier. I'm going to add a packet of onion soup mix because you know I love that. And this is an onion casserole, so why not? I'm adding some spices, 1/2 teaspoon each of garlic powder, onion powder, and black pepper. So yet again, more onion, and 2 eggs. My 9x13 pan is already greased with butter. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to mix everything in here because why go through all the quilombo, all the mess, as the Argentines would say, of dirtying another bowl. My onions are now in the baking dish. One thing I wanted to point out is that if you saute purple onion too long, I feel like it loses its color, so that's why I only did 12 minutes. I tasted everything. I tasted the sauteed onion, and they have definitely lost their bite for the most part, and they're sweet, but I think maybe some people would want them cooked a little bit longer. I just wanted to mention that because with purple onion, I feel like there's a dilemma between, okay, I want it to have its color, but I don't want it to taste super strong. But I think it'll be okay, especially since I'm going to bake everything again. Or since everything's going into the oven. So far, the hardest part of making this onion ring casserole has been mixing it. I think the best way is to use a spatula and dig down on the bottom and then flip the bottom up to the top. That way you mix the bottom with the top without breaking the onion rings as much as possible. This will take a few minutes, but honestly, I think it's the way to go. You can cut up the onion rings if you want, but then you lose that visually impacting image of having onion rings in this casserole. Once these are fully coated, once the onion rings are coated in this mixture, then I'm going to start pressing it down into the pan. I'm almost there. The onion ring casserole is now pressed down into the pan. All I did is that I spread everything out, trying to get an even balance between the onion rings and the sauteed onion and the cheese. Then I took my spatula and I went through and I pressed it down like this. Are some of the onion rings no longer in a circular shape? Yeah, some of them did break. A lot of them did. But honestly, I think you're going to have to break some of the onion rings in order to get everything packed down. As long as there is at least some shape of onion ring here and there, I think that's the best we can hope for. I'm just going to pack it down a little bit more, and then this will go into a 350 degree Fahrenheit oven for, I'm guessing, 45 minutes uncovered. I just pulled the onion ring casserole out of the oven. It was in at 350 Fahrenheit for 45 minutes. It smells and looks amazing. This looked and smelled delicious, so thinking back to my French fry casserole, I was very eager to give this a try. And just as I had expected, this onion ring with cheese casserole recipe was absolutely fantastic. First off, the flavor. Of course it tasted like onion rings, but in addition to that, it just had a really deep, rich, complex onion flavor. Likely because the onion flavor came from 6 different ingredients. Onion rings, red onion, yellow onion, green onion soup mix, and onion powder. All 6 of those were very different, so when they came together in this casserole, the result was absolutely spectacular because the differences complemented each other perfectly. However, the onion flavor wasn't harsh or overpowering like onions, especially raw onions, can sometimes be. I think the fact that I baked the onion rings and sauteed the raw onions before adding them to the casserole made the onion flavor just right. I really like the texture of this casserole as well. Even though I added sour cream, egg, and cheese, the onion rings that were inside of the casserole itself weren't soggy. Instead, just like with the French fries in the French fry casserole, the onion rings did a really good job of staying somewhat crunchy while also being moist. It's really hard to explain, but trust me, it wasn't soggy at all. Speaking of which, the inside of the casserole was soft and moist while the top was browned and crispy. So honestly, this onion ring casserole was great in terms of both flavor and texture. Although this was great as it was, I think that adding some chopped smoked ham, like I did with my hash brown casserole, would be really good as well. Not only would it add some smokiness, a flavor that seems to combine really well with the tang of sour cream in casseroles, but it would also add some meat, making this feel like a complete meal. So, if you're in the mood for onion rings, but you want something different, be sure to give this onion rings with cheese casserole recipe a try. I know you'll love it just as much as I did. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye!